Hello guys, welcome back to our anime moment. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Renegade Immortal episode number 604 based on novel. So let's start. In a flash, 50 years passed. 50 years of time was more than half of one's life for mortals, but for cultivators, it was just a short closed-door cultivation session. But during these 50 years, a legend arose in the immortal astral continent. This legend spread between the eastern and southern continents. This legend was about an Empyrean Exalt cultivator who wore white, had a head of white hair, and had a golden Exalt sea dragon. He moved through more than 30 continents among the eastern and southern continents to search for Empyrean Exalts to battle. There were nearly 100 Empyrean Exalts, including those that hadn't joined any Grand Empyrean and those that remained in closed-door cultivation year-round. In particular, the southern continent had far more Empyrean Exalts than the eastern continent. The eastern continent was originally ranked second among the 5 major continents. However, after Grand Empyrean Gemini's soul split during her last reincarnation, they gradually fell in rank and became the continent with the lowest number of Empyrean Exalts. This white-robed Empyrean Exalt challenged all his fellow Empyrean Exalts. Those battles and thunderous rumbles echoed endlessly. Almost everyone in the sects across the 2 continents knew him. In the Nuoyun continent, he had battled the Nuoyun sect's Empyrean Exalt old ancestor. In the High Luo continent, he had battled the Virtue sect's Empyrean Exalt old ancestor. In the Nine Devil continent, he had battled the Devil Heavenly sect's Empyrean Exalt old ancestor. In the Spirit Dragon continent, he had battled Empyrean Exalt Hung Dao, who was under Grand Empyrean Dao Yi. In the Mountain Spirit continent, he had battled Empyrean Exalt Kai Feng, who was under Grand Empyrean Wu Feng. One battle after another, one earth-shaking event after another, one achievement after another created a legend. White-haired Empyrean Exalt. Not many people knew of Wang Lin's name, and it was impossible to spread due to the rumors. As various clues were obtained and people learned that Wang Lin had white hair, they began calling him the white-haired Empyrean Exalt. It was rumored that the white-haired Empyrean Exalt only lost 20 times after nearly 100 challenges. However, this series of wins was a shocking record, and his reputation spread to the north, west, and even the central continent. Almost all the Empyrean Exalt cultivators in the Celestial clan knew that a white-haired Empyrean Exalt had powerful battle capabilities. Rumor had it that this unknown white-haired Empyrean Exalt's last battle was in the Mountain Sea continent against Empyrean Exalt High Sea. He had failed this battle. After that battle, he disappeared for years. In the Mountain Sea continent, there was a city built for cultivators to trade in. There was a restaurant and an old man was drinking wine and slowly telling a story. This white-haired Empyrean Exalt battled against Empyrean Exalt High Sea above the sea. The sea collapsed, and it felt like even the world was going to collapse. I was at the edge of the sea at the time, and as the waves surged, I vaguely saw the figure of the white-haired Empyrean Exalt. There were 4 or 5 cultivators around him that all began to listen closely. Unfortunately, the white-haired Empyrean Exalt lost that battle. The old man sighed as if he was very familiar with the white-haired Empyrean Exalt and felt regret for him. Grand Empyrean High Sea is rumored to be infinitely close to the Ascendant Empyrean stage. Even though the white-haired Empyrean Exalt is powerful, he is no match for Empyrean Exalt High Sea. A young cultivator sneered. Everyone knows that due to Grand Empyrean Dao Yi, our southern continent has a lot of Empyrean Exalts. Grand Empyrean Dao Yi never forces any Empyrean Exalts to join him, but any Empyrean Exalt in the southern continent can listen to a 100-year Dao lecture once. This is why many Empyrean Exalts in the eastern continent come to our southern continent. A middle-aged man among them held up a fan and smiled. I think the reason the white-haired Empyrean Exalt has been challenging so many Empyrean Exalts over the last several decades is to attract the attention of Grand Empyrean Dao Yi. A black-robed man who never spoke looked at the crowd and slowly said, "How do you know Grand Empyrean Dao Yi hasn't already tried to recruit the white-haired Empyrean Exalt? I heard that Grand Empyrean Dao Yi tried to recruit him more than 50 years ago but was rejected." Oh? Such a thing happened? This restaurant was not big, and it was prepared for cultivators. It didn't sell food, but scented wine that was famous in the surrounding region. Only a limited amount was sold each day, and it was very popular among cultivators. As these cultivators talked, a white-robed young man was sitting in the corner. He looked at the sky outside the restaurant and drank the wine in his hand. He had a head of white hair, but he wasn't the only white-haired cultivator in the restaurant. There were 3 to 5 other white-haired cultivators around. It seemed that as the white-haired Empyrean Exalt became more famous, more and more white-haired cultivators showed up. Listening to the words entering his ears, Wang Lin put down the wine cup and frowned. Looking at the sky above, he silently pondered. During these past 50 years, he had challenged a number of Empyrean Exalts. While gathering fame, he was also becoming familiar with how Empyrean Exalts battled and trying to make himself stronger. 30 years ago, he went to the Mountain Sea continent and battled the strongest Empyrean Exalt there, Empyrean Exalt High Z. Wang Lin lost that battle. He had used all his avatars and still lost. Empyrean Exalt High Z can fuse 70 spells into his finger. I'm not his match at all unless I put on the soul armor. But if I put on the soul armor, it would not allow me to gain experience. Wang Lin picked up the wine cup and took a sip. After 50 years of time, with both my essence true bodies, I can compress my 9 spell limit almost 3 times. This allows me to achieve power similar to an Empyrean Exalt who can fuse 36 spells. In addition to the battles, I need to search for the metal and wood essences. Once I acquire those 2 essences and form their essence true bodies, my 5-element true body will be complete. Then I can fuse 18 spells into my punch, and with the compression, I will be able to match an Empyrean Exalt that has fused 72 spells. I will be able to battle against High Z again. Empyrean Exalt Kai Feng once said that at the bottom of the mountain sea, there is a mountain sea tree. The entire sea is supported by this giant tree, and the entire mountain sea continent is sealing the soul of the mountain sea tree. This tree is extremely powerful. When the celestial ancestor sealed it, even he was injured. However, because too much time has passed, the mountain sea tree soul has long become a dead soul, leaving only its branches. However, there should be enough wood essence inside that if I get it, my wood essence will be complete and I will be able to form an essence true body. Wang Lin pondered as he drank wine. After I battled Empyrean Exalt High Z, I started observing the mountain sea continent. What Empyrean Exalt Kai Feng said is most likely true. Therefore, I can only use the soul armor and beat the guardian Empyrean Exalt High Z to get into the mountain sea tree and absorb the wood essence. As Wang Lin pondered, he revealed a decisive gaze. He put down the wine cup and left a small origin stone before walking out of the restaurant. This city built by cultivators contained a lot of cultivators. Aside from the shop, there were private stalls selling the treasures they had obtained. Wang Lin walked through the city and disappeared in a flash. He reappeared in the sky in the distance, and just as he was about to leave, he stopped to look back. The world behind Wang Lin distorted and a tall figure appeared. This figure was more than 100 feet tall and wore a purple robe that covered their whole body. This figure wore a golden mask, and the mask gave off a shocking pressure. The pressure spread out and caused ripples to echo around the figure. If one looked from below, the area around Wang Lin and the masked figure would look like a lake with ripples echoing. Wang Lin slowly said, "So it's Empyrean Exalt Kai Feng, who is Underground Empyrean Wu Feng. Fellow cultivator Wang, we haven't seen each other in several years. I wonder if you have considered." The golden mask cultivator seemed to be smiling as he looked at Wang Lin. Wang Lin had battled against Empyrean Exalt Kai Feng before. They were equal in strength when Wang Lin didn't have the soul armor on. Later, he found Wang Lin and conveyed Grand Empyrean Wu Feng's message. He wanted to recruit Wang Lin. This was the second Grand Empyrean after Dao Yi who wanted to recruit Wang Lin. Wang Lin learned that this Grand Empyrean Wu Feng was just as the Devil Dao sect old ancestor had said. He was extremely aloof and rarely valued Empyrean exalts. Only ascendant Empyreans could attract his attention. But that didn't mean there were no Empyrean exalts under him, it was just that those under him were all exceptional talents, like Empyrean Exalt Kai Feng. Wang Lin clearly felt that Kai Feng had held back in their battle, just like he had. Back then, Empyrean Exalt Kai Feng passed the message from Grand Empyrean Wu Feng. He didn't come personally, nor did he appear with a trace of his divine sense. He obviously believed that with my battle power, it was only worth a message. Compared to Grand Empyrean Dao Yi, this is obviously lacking. However, it could be because Grand Empyrean Dao Yi saw my power after putting on the soul armor. That would explain it. Wang Lin pondered a bit and clasped his hands at Empyrean Exalt Kai Feng. Fellow cultivator Kai Feng, I still need to consider this matter and I haven't made a decision. Empyrean Exalt Kai Feng was not surprised about Wang Lin's delay. He only revealed a look of pity as he looked at Wang Lin and smiled bitterly. Fellow cultivator Wang, we Empyrean Exalts have very high status in the Celestial clan. Even Grand Empyreans should personally invite those who they wish to recruit, this I understand. Before I came here, Grand Empyrean Wu Feng told me that if you can break through the 9th level in the Empyrean trials, he will come in person and not just an embodiment of his divine sense. Fellow cultivator Wang, if you have time, please head to the Empyrean trial. If you can break through the 9th level, I believe all 5 Grand Empyreans will try to pull you in. After Empyrean Exalt Kai Feng finished speaking, he clasped his hands at Wang Lin and his figure gradually disappeared. Wang Lin silently pondered in the sky and looked at the sky after a long time. Empyrean Exalt. Grand Empyrean Dao Yi said that if I break through the 9th level, he will come again. Grand Empyrean Wu Feng also said the same. Could there be something special about the 9th level? Wang Lin had verified the method of entering the Empyrean trial many times during the last 50 years, but he had never gone there. Now he pondered a bit and his eyes lit up. I should go check it out. In the Mountain Sea continent of the southern continent, there was an inland sea called the Mountain Sea. This sea was vast, and sometimes large amounts of sea birds could be seen flying in the blue sky. The sound of the waves echoed and the west sea breeze blew to the shore. The Mountain Sea occupied more than 70% of the Mountain Sea continent and the remaining 30% of land surrounded the Mountain Sea. At this moment, at the northern part of the Mountain Sea, Wang Lin was standing on the peak of a mountain, calmly looking at the sea before him. This was the closest place to the Mountain Sea tree, but Wang Lin didn't choose to immediately go there. His body flickered and he disappeared from the peak. He reappeared inside a cave he had created. Wang Lin had lived in this cave for 3 years and he had placed a large amount of restrictions around it. This place could provide a certain amount of protection for him. In the cave, there was a looming, blue fog. Hidden inside was a sea dragon that had shrunk many times. Sitting inside the cave, Wang Lin slowly closed his eyes and his hands rapidly formed seals. These seals were extremely special, and Wang Lin had learned them after verifying many times. Before I take the Mountain Sea tree, I'll go see what kind of mysterious place the Empyrean trial is. Wang Lin was going to use the method to enter he had learned over the last 50 years. His divine sense gathered at his head and extended upward into a bright light. This light was the light of his divine sense. After it gathered on Wang Lin's head for a moment, it shot into the sky at an unimaginable speed. It penetrated the cave and mountain into the sky. Outsiders couldn't see or feel this light. The seals Wang Lin had used would hide all fluctuations of divine sense and protect all Empyrean exalts when they entered the Empyrean trial. It was said these seals were passed down by the celestial ancestor. Wang Lin's divine sense continued to rise up and broke through the void. It was like a heaven-piercing sword that was going to break open the sky above the immortal astral continent. The moment his divine sense reached the highest point, thunderous rumbles echoed in Wang Lin's mind. His divine sense felt like the sky had turned into a giant vortex and sucked in his divine sense. His vision blurred. When he could see clearly, he looked around and was shocked. He was on a continent that was about 10,000 kilometers wide. This continent was very small and floated in the sky. There were endless howling winds around the continent and black lines moving within the wind. These black lines held terrifying power. It felt like just touching one would destroy you. At the center of the continent stood a giant palace. This palace gave off an ancient aura. It was completely black, and had an aura of majesty. All those that saw it couldn't help but feel a sense of awe in their heart. When Wang Lin arrived here and began to observe, many divine senses came from beside the palace and swept by Wang Lin. Every single of those divine senses contained the pressure of an Empyrean exalt, and there are almost 200 of them. Wang Lin. White-haired Empyrean exalt. It's him. Among these divine senses, there were Empyrean exalts that had battled Wang Lin in the last 50 years. When they saw Wang Lin, they immediately recognized him. Wang Lin's expression remained the same. As he looked around, he found that he was near an ancient transfer array. This transfer array was extremely complicated, and at a glance, Wang Lin felt like his divine sense was going to be sucked away. After a long time, Wang Lin withdrew his gaze and walked out from the transfer array. He carefully observed his body as he felt like he was in his physical body. If not for the fact that he knew it was just his origin soul, he would find it difficult to find the difference. The Empyrean trial was created by the celestial ancestor. It sure is mysterious. Wang Lin flew toward the palace where all the divine senses came from. The closer Wang Lin got, the more shocked he became. The ancient palace looked large from a distance, but after getting close, it was even more shocking. What was even more amazing was that after getting close, Wang Lin found that there were large palaces above this one. A total of 19 palaces. They floated in the air and were connected together like a long dragon. The palaces at the top extended into the sky, and only their vague outlines could be seen. In my 50 years of understanding, the rumors said that the Empyrean trial is actually the most powerful treasure the celestial ancestor had. It exists in the void and guards over the celestial clan. Wang Lin looked at the large palaces in the sky. Some of them were too far away, so he could only see a shadow, but he could still clearly feel the pressure. As he got closer, Wang Lin saw nearly 200 cultivators around the first ancient palace. They were all far apart, as if they were unwilling to be together. After Wang Lin arrived, many people looked over. Some people knew Wang Lin, so they smiled and clasped their hands. Wang Lin clasped his hands in response. He stood outside the palace and looked at the behemoth. He felt the illusion that he was very small. The Empyrean trial is a very strange place. No matter where you are, you can come here with your origin soul. This place is favored by the Empyrean exalts because even if two people are far away, they can meet here. And due to this characteristic, the Empyrean trial is the best place for Empyrean exalts to meet. The information Wang Lin had gathered in the last 50 years appeared in his mind. Just as Wang Lin was pondering, a bright, golden light came from the seventh palace floating in the sky. This golden light shrouded the area and immediately caused all the Empyrean exalt cultivators to look up. Wang Lin also looked up as a black figure flew out from the seventh palace. This black figure was a middle-aged man with long, flowing hair. He gave off a powerful aura as he charged from the seventh palace to the eighth palace. Empyrean exalt Shu Lin, he broke through the seventh level. To be able to break through the seventh level means he has fused at least 63 spells. He didn't have this ability before. He has followed Grand Empyrean Ju Di for 1,000 years. He has clearly gained a lot. The eighth level is nothing, but the ninth floor is the most important. If anyone can break through the ninth level, then every Grand Empyrean will pay attention to them. The ninth level is too difficult. Those that can break through the ninth level are infinitely close to Ascendant Empyrean. Just one more step and they will be the 49th Ascendant Empyrean of my celestial clan. Even the strongest Ascendant Empyrean, Ming Dao, was stopped at the 16th level and was unable to go further. Rumor has it that if someone can break through the 19th level, it means they are powerful enough to make even Grand Empyreans wary. As the golden light shined, the 200 or so Empyrean exalts all sent divine sense messages to each other. As they chatted due to Empyrean exalt Shu Lin's action, a roar came from the 8th palace. Empyrean exalt Shu Lin was ejected from the 8th palace and fell until he landed on the ground around the 1st palace. The moment he landed, all the divine sense messages disappeared and their gazes gathered. Empyrean exalt Shu Lin had a gloomy expression. He didn't even look around and walked past Wang Lin. He looked for a place in the distance and sat down. After that, Wang Lin saw golden light come from the various palaces, and people were constantly being ejected. The highest place people were ejected from was the 8th palace, like Empyrean Exalt Shu Lin, and the lowest were the 2nd or 3rd levels. Wang Lin didn't rush to attempt, he sat there to observe. For 3 days, many cultivators came and went, but most of them chose to stay and didn't leave. In the past 3 days, Empyrean Exalt Shu Lin attempted the 8th palace again but still failed. On the 4th day, Wang Lin's eyes lit up and he stood up and walked toward the 1st palace. His actions didn't attract much attention. After all, the 1st palace was too simple for the cultivators here. Only the Empyrean Exalts that had battled Wang Lin looked over as he entered the 1st palace. Since the white-haired Empyrean Exalt went to the 1st palace, it must be his first time here. I wonder how many levels he can break through. That person is very strange. His cultivation is very simple, but his combat power is shocking. I'm not his match. I wonder how many levels he can pass. Wang Lin. In these several decades, he has become very famous across the southern continent. It is said Grand Empyrean Dao Yi tried to recruit him but was rejected. A dozen pair of eyes followed Wang Lin as he disappeared into the palace. The moment he entered the 1st palace, he felt like the world had changed before him. He saw that the inside of the palace was a star system. This star system was vast and contained countless stars. Each star shined brightly, and he was standing in this star system. A strange howl came from the star system. Wang Lin suddenly looked up and there was a flash of coldness in his eyes. There were 9 planets that seemed to have changed trajectories due to a mysterious force and were flying toward Wang Lin. These 9 planets looked like 9 giants that instantly closed in on Wang Lin. This sudden change forced Wang Lin to move from his current location. However, the 9 planets changed directions and flew toward him. Could this be the 1st level of the Empyrean trial? Wang Lin's eyes lit up and he no longer dodged. He stepped forward toward the incoming planets, raised his right hand, and threw a punch at them. Call the Wind. This punch contained 9 Call the Wind spells. This punch formed a storm that made it look like a real black dragon was colliding with the 1st planet. Thunderous rumbles echoed and the planet collapsed. After the planet collapsed, Wang Lin turned around and kicked the 2nd planet. There was a thunderous bang. Wang Lin's body moved and after images appeared before the rest of the planets, then he threw out several punches. Thunderous rumbles echoed across the star system. All the planets smashing toward him shattered, but a powerful force came from them. The force directly pushed Wang Lin out of this star system. Wang Lin's vision blurred. When he regained his vision, he lost control of his body and was pushed out from the 1st palace. He fell on the ground and retreated several thousand feet before he stabilized himself. Failed? Wang Lin suddenly looked up and pondered. The palace hadn't released golden light, which meant Wang Lin had failed the 1st level. This was seen by all the surrounding Empyrean Exalt cultivators, and they were all surprised. The Empyrean Exalts that had fought Wang Lin were filled with disbelief. Can't even pass the 1st level. This person. It's very rare for an Empyrean Exalt to not be able to pass the 1st level. Today, I get to see one. This shouldn't be happening. This Wang Lin's combat power is very strong. How could he fail on the 1st level? At this moment, Wang Lin was being stared at by all the surrounding Empyrean Exalts. There was surprise, contempt, and indifference in those stares. Everyone here had been able to pass the 1st level really easily, so when they saw Wang Lin fail, it was inevitable to have some contempt. Even though they didn't show it, it was there. Empyrean Exalt Shu Lin looked at Wang Lin and then closed his eyes. Wang Lin silently pondered as he looked at the black palace before him, then a flash of coldness appeared in his eyes. He turned into a ray of light and rushed at the palace. His action was seen by most of the Empyrean Exalt cultivators, and most of them shook their heads. After a failure, it's rare to succeed the 2nd time. Rather than wasting time here, it's better to leave and work hard cultivating. It looks like he is still relying on luck. It's fine. Perhaps the 1st level can be passed through luck. Wang Lin was very fast and instantly charged into the palace. His vision blurred and he appeared in the star system. He was calm and wasn't flustered due to his failure at all. He stood there, calmly looking ahead with bright eyes. Howling sounds echoed and 9 planets suddenly changed their trajectories as if they were being controlled by a pair of invisible, giant hands. The 9 planets flew directly at Wang Lin. Wang Lin didn't move and his divine sense spread out to surround the area. When the 9 planets got within a few thousand feet of him and the pressure landed on his body, he suddenly raised his right hand. 9 colder winds fused into his fist and he punched the void. This punch caused the star system to tremble, and even the 9 planets trembled. From afar, it looked like Wang Lin had disappeared and was replaced by a 9-headed black dragon. The 9 heads of the black dragon smashed toward the 9 planets. Only one thunderous bang rang out, but it echoed endlessly. The 9 planets suddenly collapsed at the same time. When the 9 planets collapsed, endless golden light spread out. This golden light filled the star system and spread out from the first palace. The Empyrean Exalt cultivators sitting outside were attracted by the golden light, and they all had strange gazes. They saw a white-haired cultivator rush out from the top of the palace and head toward the second palace above at a high speed. He actually succeeded? This white-haired Empyrean Exalt is pretty interesting. The first time was a failure and the second time should be luck. However, luck won't help you with the second palace, only strength matters. The surrounding Empyrean Exalts were a bit interested by this matter when a bright, golden light came from the second palace. The golden light from the first palace hadn't even dissipated when the golden light came from the second palace. The intersecting golden lights from the 2 palaces almost lit up the entire continent. This sudden scene shocked some of these cold and proud Empyrean Exalts. Eh? He finished the second level that quickly? How long did that take? This person failed the first palace but actually passed the second palace in one try. Wang Lin's figure charged out from the second palace as the golden light shined brightly. He didn't hesitate to charge toward the third palace. His actions immediately caught the attention of even more of the Empyrean Exalts. Most of them were at the third palace, and because Wang Lin had failed the first palace, they were uncertain if Wang Lin could pass it. In the third palace, in addition to fusing 27 spells into your body, there is a golden planet among them. The golden planet is the key. I can fuse 30 spells into my body but still fail because of that golden planet. It is comparable to all the planets combined. It will be difficult for him to break through the third level. More than half of the 200 Empyrean Exalts looked over. As they guessed the result, cries of shock came from a few of the cultivators. Everyone saw the third palace shine brightly shortly after Wang Lin entered. Right now, the golden light from the first and second palaces hadn't dissipated yet. The golden light from the third palace shined and they connected. It was like a long dragon slowly growing its body. The golden light was monstrous. While surrounding the area, it caused the eyes of the Empyrean Exalts below to shine brightly. Passed? He passed 3 levels at once. With this much strength, how could he have failed on the first level? What speed? To pass the first 3 levels at this speed means he is very strong. To continuously light up the palaces, I wonder how many more palaces he can light up. Wang Lin charged out from the third palace and looked up at the fourth palace. He didn't hesitate to rush toward the fourth palace before everyone's gazes. This Empyrean trial required all the planets to be destroyed at once. If I destroy them one by one, it counts as failure. Wang Lin remained calm. The first 3 levels were not much of a challenge for him. In a flash, he disappeared into the fourth palace. Even Empyrean Exalt Shu Lin also opened his eyes and looked up at the fourth palace. Not just him, but almost everyone looked over. The fourth palace was a threshold among the Empyrean Exalt cultivators. No more than 200 people had passed the fourth palace, most of them stopped there. Therefore, Wang Lin's actions attracted their attention. Those that could pass the fourth level were considered strong among Empyrean Exalts. Time slowly passed. 1 breath, 2 breaths. As time passed, the golden light from the first place seemed to dim and showed signs of dissipating. The amount of time Wang Lin spent inside the fourth palace was more than the third palace. However, just as the golden light from the first palace was about to disappear, dozens of the surrounding cultivators suddenly stood up and looked at the sky. At this moment, the fourth palace released golden light that was far stronger than the lights of the previous three palaces. The moment the golden light appeared, it caused the four palaces to connect together perfectly. It looked like a small portion of a dragon's tail, making for a shocking sight. He broke through the fourth level. He actually passed the fourth level. He is strong even among Empyrean exalts. Empyrean exalt Shu Lin's pupils shrank as he stared at the figure that walked out of the fourth palace. He felt threatened by that figure. In the sky, Wang Lin stood in the golden light around the fourth palace and looked up at the fifth palace. His eyes lit up. The fourth level had 36 planets with 2 golden planets. I used all my avatars, and without the soul armor, the fourth level is my limit. But if I put the soul armor on, I wonder how many levels I can break through. Unfortunately, I need to head to the mountain sea to get the tree, so it would be inconvenient to show my strength here. After I get the mountain sea tree, I'll come back and try it again. This video will end here.